Welcome to GreenBiz Studio. My name is Vartan, Badalian, Director of Transportation at GreenBiz, and I'm thrilled to be speaking with Mark Patten, Vice President at NextEra Mobility. Mark, it's nice to have you on.
Vartan, thanks for having me on today. I'm excited to be part of the program.
Great. So let's just start with the basics then. How does NextEra Mobility actually help its customers with fleet decarbonization?
Yeah, that's a great question, Vartan. At NextEra Mobility, we're really looking to work with our fleet customers to help them accelerate their transition to EVs. And we do that in a few ways. We recognize that the fleet transition is in its early stages, and a lot of customers are figuring out how to go about it and where to start. And that's where we start with a lot of our customers is on the advisory side. And so through that, we're helping our customers develop a roadmap for electrification. And really, most importantly, for many of them, a starting point. And so we have a team of very smart data analysts who we leverage their experience, as well as two proprietary software platforms, Evaluate and Reveal, to develop a roadmap for fleets. Once they've made the decision to move forward with electrification, this is where sort of the experience, the size, scale, and scope of NextEra can really come into play in helping them develop the infrastructure to charge their fleets. And we can do this in a few ways. We're offering turnkey infrastructure for on-site charging over the road through our partnership, through our Green Lane partnership with Daimler and BlackRock, and then our ePorts, which are dedicated multi-fleet charging hubs. And, we're handling the interactions with the utilities. We're managing, grants and incentives really throughout the entire life cycle of development on all those projects. And so taking away a lot of the headaches that we're hearing from fleet customers that they're experiencing as they're working through how they're going to electrify their fleet. And I think the other piece of it that we have is our charging management and energy management software platform, Zevi, which operates across all of our three infrastructure offerings. And this is really used to help fleets reduce their total cost of ownership by really helping them manage, what is really the cost of their new fuel, which is electricity.
Great, some robust offerings there. So then on that thread, going a bit deeper, how does electrification fit into the sustainability and decarbonization goals of organizations that you work with?
Another good question, Vartan. Fleet electrification is really, for many customers, the first step, right? It's removing the emissions from the tailpipe. NextEra really goes beyond just the tailpipe. NextEra is much bigger than just NextEra Mobility. And so we're able to work with customers really as they transition those Scope 1 emissions to Scope 2 emissions. NextEra is the largest owner and operator of wind, solar, and battery storage in the world. We've made our own real zero commitments. And we're looking to take advantage of, the resources and the knowledge that we have in our own decarbonization journey and being the decarbonization partner for companies throughout industries in the U.S. And so, while solutions are going to vary by customer, right, it could be, where it could be on-site generation and storage, which we're doing for some customers, all the way up to offtake of utility scale assets, which is, part of our more traditional business at NextEra. So while, fleets can, look to either start with NextEra through NextEra Mobility, NextEra Mobility also comes into play with our customers as part of a broader decarbonization solution. And we're seeing that really sort of based on, who's managing the fleet electrification initiative within the company, whether that's being driven strategically higher up in the C-suite and with chief sustainability officers, or if it's been driven down to, the fleet and facilities managers.
So then lastly, what advice do you have for any organizations that you're working on or that are working on electrification of their fleets that they should consider right now?
Yeah, another great question, Vartan. So a few things. I think first and foremost is to start early. We're seeing a lot of customers who are looking to electrify their depots, running into challenges with the utilities and the lead times there that can be, we've heard as long as, 3 years in some spaces. So I think one is to start early. Two is to, I think work with somebody who has experience in helping to identify the right places for you to start in your electrification journey, and also to help you take a sort of longer term holistic view of that journey. We're working with a few customers or have seen customers who have started down the journey and are either, having to retrench in certain areas because they didn't sort of plan for expansion in an area, or are ripping out what they put in before and are starting over with a new solution. So I think working with an experienced provider is important. And then I think, lastly, is working with somebody who can scale with you, especially for some of the larger fleets that are operating, either regionally or on a national basis even. I think it's important to have somebody who can look at and deliver on a total solution, and looking at, some of our offerings where, we can do charging behind the fence, we can do over the road, as well as, looking for solutions within our ePort offerings, enables customers to really leverage that network of sites to make their electrification transition more efficient.
Perfect. With that, thank you, Mark. You just heard from Mark Patten, Vice President at NextEra Mobility.
Vartan, thank you very much for having me on.